Welcome to In Focus. I'm your host, Yesenia Taveras. Lassiter Financial Group has actually planted an urban community garden at the William Hicks Anderson Community Center, which is the only youth center owned and operated by the city of Wilmington. The owner of Lassiter Financial Group, Dave Lassiter, is here with us today. He's going to talk to us about his initiative and exactly why did he build this garden from the ground up, and he's working with the community to educate them on how to live a healthier lifestyle. Welcome to the show.
Good day. Thank you for having me.
Yes, wonderful.
Yes.
It's an honor. I mean, we're going to get into this. I just had so much fun coming in on the weekends, volunteering and seeing what it is you do with the garden there in the community over Westside. But before we get into all that, talk to us a little bit about who you are so our viewers can get to know about you a little bit.
Okay. My name is David Lassiter. I grew up originally in South Jersey, a little bit all over South Jersey. Then I moved to Delaware at the age of 11. Moved there with my father and stepmother. I lived with my mother at first, and then when I came to Delaware, well, in New Jersey, I was a bit of an only child. And then when I came to Delaware, it was a family full of sisters. So, that was fun and challenging at the same time. I was the big brother and very much the little brother at the same time. So, but it was a lot of love. It was a lot of love growing up. So I started my own accounting firm. I am an entrepreneur, a businessman. I give a lot of love, show a lot of love, talk to people, try to get interactive with our people. And I'm building.
That's right. And before you became this entrepreneur who's doing so many great things in our community, you went to college, but you actually started later. And what I like about your story is that society would build our children up in the belief that as soon as you graduate from high school, immediately you have to go to college, which can be very hard for people who don't have the finances to do so, don't want to take a loan out. But talk to us about you going back to college at the age of 24, the journey that you took and why you decided to go back, and tell us about your experience at Delta.
Yeah, so you're very much correct. Society will tell us that you have to go to college immediately after high school, and that's something that I didn't do. To be honest with you, when I graduated, I was tired of school. School was the last thing I wanted to do, and that was just because even though college was talked about, it wasn't pressed. And my experience in high school was just one where I personally wasn't ready. I didn't really know what it was that I had going on with my life and education, and I chose not to go the college route. I chose to work instead, and I lived life, made a few mistakes, like everyone does. Had a good time. I enjoyed myself, and when it was time for me to go back, that was when I knew it was time to go back. And at the age of 24, it was a good age. I had a lot going on, a lot of things changing in life. I'll say, to say the least. And I knew what I wanted to do at that age. I had already experienced life, so that was one benefit that I kind of gathered from not going to school immediately that others may not have, because I had the experience. So I chose accounting. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I loved numbers, math, managing money, telling other people how to spend their money. I've always been, a saver, always been something I've been good at. So when it came down to managing money and, and at least counting money, that's something I always enjoyed and been good at.
And Dave, talk to us about being the young, educated African-American male. In our society, there seems to be sometimes that intimidation factor, or if you are educated and you're a young African-American male, then you're bougie. So there's so many different things that society puts on just growing up in America. Talk to us a little bit about that perspective and how you've been able to navigate through all that.
So, what is shameful in this country is that, if you're smart and black, it's almost like, there's this stigma that comes along with it, as if, like you said, like bougie, or you're better than, or what's so special about you. We don't understand that all of us are special. Education isn't something that I'm the only one that should be privy to. It's only meant for just me or people who live in middle class or higher, or whatever it may be, lower middle class. You know, the opportunities are here for all of us. The knowledge about them and how to maneuver through them isn't readily available, or isn't, I'll say, as taught as we would have liked for it to be in our schools, public schools, and even our even colleges. I've been blessed to have the upbringing and the people around me and the support to push me in the right directions. I've gone my own way several times. However, I've had that foundation, that background. You know, we have people in our cities, and I'll say our people because you know, people of color have been the people in a systematic oppression where there hasn't been a lot of things geared towards assisting or helping. And I'm not saying that, you know, people of color need more help. What I'm saying is there's a system that's been set up to keep them a little bit more oppressed than other people. So, you know, with that being said, you know, it's up to our people to be able to just focus on the thing, on themselves, focus on the system around them, the things that's going on. Seek this information. Get up, go to school. If you don't have the parents or the resources, go get them. Go find them. They're out here. We just have to be able to put the work in to go get them.
And the wonderful thing I like about your story is that literally your journey was all throughout here in Delaware. You went to Del Tech, and after getting your associates from there, you went right on to Golden Beacon College, graduated from Golden Beacon College, but you beat the odds, the statistics that are out there for you. And not only did you beat the odds, you actually took on leadership positions at both of these colleges, being president of so many different societies. So talk to us about your experience, what were you able to gain from that, and why did you take the initiative to step up and lead?
It's been a calling. It hasn't really been anything that I think I've had control over. It's been one of those things where I was born to do something great. I was born to be a leader, being someone who actually gets up and gets to work. You know, when I lay around too long, I'll get uncomfortable. So when it comes down to my education, I've always had the entrepreneurship mindset. However, when it comes down to education and me knowing what it is that I wanted, I had to drive. You know, that's something that's inward. You have to want it. You know, I did go to Del Tech. I got my associate's degree from there. I graduated with like a 3.74 GPA. I was a president of Vanguard Society, which is an organization for people of color, and it's more of a mentorship organization. I was the president of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, which is an honor society for two-year colleges. And I used that and my resources there to propel me, to push me to the next level, which was a bachelor's degree in accounting at Golden Beacon. I got a full scholarship from Golden Beacon just because of the work and my grades and work ethic. And you know, I used that to start my own business. All of that information and education, you know, and it definitely was a lot of hard work. You know, it's not something where you just sit around and it's just going to come to you.
That's right.
You know, I want to say, you know, it really doesn't matter where you come from. You know, a black man is a black man. I'm whether I come from the hood or from the suburbs, I'm still a black man in America. So, you know, the struggles, the trials, the triumphs, all of that is a part of it. We have to go through the process. We have to go through putting in the hard work. No one's going to give us anything. We have to go get it. So get up, grind, go get it, work hard, do everything you have to do, call on your people. If you start to feel weak, pick up the phone, call somebody to help strengthen you. Don't be ashamed to seek help. You know, that's another thing that we have an issue with, is actually looking for help, talking to people, communicating. Listen, pray, meditate, whatever you have to do to keep going, get you some crystals, I really don't care. Get up and keep going. So, you know, that's something that we have to do as a people.
And was there anything that you went through personally that was a turning point for you in your life?
Yes, actually. So a couple of things. A cousin of mine had passed away, and this was in 2011. Julian Benson, he was Mr. Morgan. You know, he was going to graduate in communications. I mean, when you talk about just man, just good people or a good person. He was amazing, man, and he passed away. And there was a car accident, and at that time, it was an opportunity for me to stop living the lifestyle I was doing. I was living a simple lifestyle, selling drugs and weed, whatever, what have you, and trying to live a fast life, be the man, and thinking I'm invincible. And things caught up with me, and it was one of those situations where you have an option. You can either continue to live the life you live in, or you can go to school. And at the time, I didn't choose school. However, things happened in my life where school came back around. So that summertime of 2012 is when I started college.
Okay.
And that's when the grind began for me. But I kind of grinded like I had a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, because now you've seen that life is short, and you got to seize the moment while you're still here and you have it. And
you got people doubting you, telling you, and I use that fuel as fire, because I had always been looked at as someone who was going to succeed, going to do something good and positive. But when I wasn't, it was like, oh yeah, no, he's washed up, he's lost, he's a simpleton. Oh, okay. I use that energy to to propel me. And that's, even though it was good for the moment, negative or living or thriving off of negative energy isn't good long term. That gas will burn out sooner or later. So I had to find it within myself, the drive within myself, the passion to want something more, want something better, to do something better. And that's what I did.
And thank you so much for sharing that with us, because you birthed Lassiter Financial Group, and your company decided to plant this garden in William Hicks Anderson Community Center on the west side. And you were really connecting with the population that has lived the lifestyle that you did prior to going to college. And this is a community that doesn't see what you're doing. And so this is a wonderful day. We've had your ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yes.
And you have here representatives from City of Wilmington. Talk to us about, why did you decide to build this urban garden right here at the west side?
This is another one of those situations. This was a calling for me, man. When I tell you that all of the energy in the universe, everything in the world was telling me to plant. I mean, listen.
I know, I almost got teary-eyed because I know how far you've come. So, but we're gonna get through this.
Yo, my goodness.
I almost cried right there.
Yo,
but people need to know what you came from, and that's why I wanted you on as a guest, because you've been on the streets, you've been through the streets, you've seen people have hard time getting opportunities, and now you've built this urban garden to show people about living a healthy lifestyle, and you became vegan yourself. So talk to us about this.
Yes. So it was something that I knew needed to be done. Gosh, when we talk about taking care of ourselves, there are so many people who don't take care of themselves. Yes, I started an accounting firm, and we've been doing business. Well, I've been in business for about 4 years now. We started Lassiter Financial Group this year, and it's been one of those things where it's been a journey. It's been a lot of learning. However, I used those funds to build a garden. And the reason why I did that was because I knew that our people needed something different. We were living the same lifestyle, eating the same foods, the same mess, the processes, processed foods, and it wasn't helping us, And I understand the concept or the knowledge that you are what you eat. I understand that fully.
That's right.
You are what you eat. So when you continue to put foods in your body that are going to affect you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, they're going to change your perspective. If you change what you eat, that's one of the beginning stages to changing how you think.
Right.
Well, first we got to change how you think. However, the food a company will assist you that because you will feel better. Once we change how we think, then we can change other things in our lives. So once people start getting better foods in their bodies, they'll feel better. They'll have the energy to be able to get up and go and run, jump, play, get active, do certain things.
Right.
And people individuals in communities that don't have access to the healthier options of foods need this. These are and this is simple. I mean, building a garden is something that we can do as long as you have the knowledge. As a matter of fact, some of the first farmers in this country were people of color. So when we talk about culturally building, giving back, showing, teaching people, this is exactly what we're supposed to do.
And not only are you teaching them how to actually grow a garden, you do presentations, like you show them how to cook it. Like, this was amazing. Every Saturday, he gets together with a group of volunteers in the community to go out here. I don't want to tell the story. You tell the story. Tell us about this.
So my organization, LFG, Lassiter Financial Group, every Saturday we harvest the foods from the garden and we give it to the people. So we have people come on now, and this is, as you'll see, some zucchini, some squash, all that came out of the garden.
Yeah, you literally picked it up and brought it over there.
I literally walked to the garden, grabbed the food, brought it back to the table, cut it up, and cooked it up for the kids. Now, the kids watched the presentation, which was nice. Well, plenty of people watched the presentation, but what I loved was that the kids actually enjoyed it. I mean, when they sat down and
they
ate
said
their
it
food,
tastes better than school lunches.
Ain't that crazy?
That is very crazy.
You would think,
because it had kale in it, and these kids would never eat kale. But they're like,
the one boy
okay,
had his face. He was shoving his. He was like, "Can I get some more?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can get some more, actually." But that's beautiful. We are the ones whom can guide the kids in the right direction to say, listen, if you're going to eat right, if you want to take care, this is how you do it. And they say, kids don't like vegetables. That's a lie.
Right.
We're not feeding them vegetables. We're feeding them Takis and chips and sodas and cakes and all these other things, but that stuff is literally killing us slowly. Right. I mean, it's enough things that we have to worry about in this world, right? Let alone this country. But the food being something that's going to kill us even quicker, it's ridiculous, man. So we need to feed need to feed ourselves better, our kids better, our people better.
I was just going to get to this. You have these boxes that you provide for each person that comes, and you put everything that you've grown, from herbs to healthy eating foods. Like, my favorite was the cantaloupes, and the tomatoes are the best.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
But talk to us about this. I mean, this is literally people in the Westside community who are coming. They see your table out there. They know about your garden, and you're providing them with these takeaway boxes that have a little bit of everything in your garden. Talk to us about that.
So this is actually humbling. It's very humbling because I didn't really realize how much effect something this simple could have on people's lives. I mean, I understood that people need to eat better, but just to have people come to you and actually appreciate what it is that you're doing, it was a humbling experience. I thank God for it. This is one community that has been impacted. However, we would like to be in all of them. We can get people to eat and get people to think and feel better on a regular basis, then we're doing something right. I feel as though I'm doing something right. And all the time it's right. It's not about clout, right? It's about actually doing something different, right? So this is why we give away the food. It's not you come pay for it. No, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you all that. I'm gonna give you all the food that we have, actually.
Right, for free.
Right? So
you invested it, but it's like you're sowing. You're giving it right back to the community. And they're literally like, they're not just cheesing for the picture. These people were literally like honestly happy, and just having the conversation between you and them and how you did what you did was amazing for me to witness.
We were having a good time out there. Yeah, we were having a good time.
And it was hot. It was like 100
degrees.
It was
100 degrees
But
outside.
these people kept coming. The community
they
kept
said,
coming.
Yes, come on down. And we laughed, we joked, we told stories, we talked about, they learned about the food. Right. During the week we have classes every.
Oh, that's right. Tell us about that. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. From 5 to 7.
Yes, ma'am. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 to 7. We have
Hicks.
at Hicks Anderson Community Center, 501 North Madison Street, Wilmington, Delaware. We teach classes about growing your own food, how to grow your own food, what the different foods do to the body, so on and so forth. And then on Saturdays we give the food away. So.
And it's all ages. We saw earlier there was a little young girl there, but you literally have the kids who come to the Hicks Center. They want to go swimming, but they literally stop their treks and make that left turn into the garden.
Yes,
I've seen this. I'm just like, this is incredible.
Yes.
And they're on their way to go swimming, but they make that left turn into the garden, and you're actually teaching them how to, how do you call it, harvest. I call it cutting, but it's harvesting, taking, so you actually teach them how to hold the scissors and harvest it and take it out of the ground. Talk to us about that.
God, man, it's been an experience, man. The pleasure in seeing people actually wanting to get active, especially the kids. The babies have the most malleable minds, so teach them young, right?
Right.
they come in and they're actually wanting to get active. Can I help? Mr. Lassiter, can I help? You sure can. This is exactly how, this. So we're teaching the kids how to do something different, how to grow your own food, right? How to eat healthy. And not only are they learning, but they're loving it. The kid looked at me and said, I wish that they taught this in our school. Mm-hmm. I wish they had these foods in our schools. Right now, that brings up another problem, which we're not going to get into right now. However, this is something that the kids need. They need something positive to get into, And I want to give a shout out to Hicks Anderson because it is a great environment. They have a lot of facilities or different facilities for the kids. A gym, basketball and workout gym, a swimming pool. They have all these different things, and we brought the garden aspect to it.
Right.
It's just one thing that, like I said, man, I've had the benefit of being able to be a part of, to create and bring here, and it's.
And you may not want to share this part, but I just want to throw this in real quick. Like, you shared with me that this actually came from a dream. And sometimes we dream at night when we fall asleep and we don't think anything of it when we wake up the next morning and we actually truly remember it. But here you actually you had a dream about doing this and planting a garden. You tried to do it at one of the schools here in Delaware, and unfortunately it didn't work. But then what happened was the William Hicks Anderson Community Center gave you this space, which was actually like 3 times bigger than what you would have had if you planted it out at the other school. So this literally was birthed from a dream that you had. Take us to that moment.
So I first want to give a love to my grandparents on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side. Both of them were farmers in South Jersey. So I've been around gardens since I was a kid. I mean, my grandfather walk in 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, get up, grandson, let's go. Time to get in the garden, and as a kid, it's like, I don't want to get in the garden. Oh, Lord, let me go back to sleep. But now I'm understanding the benefits, the things he was trying to teach me as a kid. Okay. So I had a dream one night, and the dream it literally just said plant a garden, and it was vivid. It was greenery everywhere, and it said get up and plant a garden. So I started. I had a conversation with the school I was at, and the alternative school I was teaching at, and I tried to build a garden there with some of the space that they had. It didn't necessarily work out at the time. It was kind of a bad time, and so. For the moment, it was a bit of a letdown. However, when I say God moves in mysterious ways, I end up, I was in a store, and I met Miss Candace Reasons. She works at Hicks, and she said, we're just talking, having a conversation, and she said, you want to build a garden? We got all this space over at Hicks. Why don't you come on over? So when I went over there that day, she showed me the garden. And the garden that was there, it actually was already spaced there, and they had about 5 or 6 boxes. Mr. Keith James was one of the ones who initiated that project to get that started. And even at the time I didn't notice. I was looking at the boxes. You could tell that it had been a few years since someone had done something with them. They had the space, and the space was 9 times larger.
Oh, look at that! 6 more times than I.
Yeah. How about you?
6 times bigger.
Yeah. 9 times larger than the space that I originally had. And, I started off with a dream about this size, and in reality, it was this, right? Mm-hmm. So we got started. They said I could have the land. They said, listen, this is the land, you do what you want with it.
Wonderful.
So I brought the boxes in, I brought the dirt in, I brought some volunteers in to come help me go ahead and shovel some of that. We got the kids out there helping us shovel, and putting everything together. And, we started the garden, man, and it's been growing, it's been thriving, and it looks beautiful out there.
Well, congratulations on all the success you've had.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure Lassiter Financial Group opens up their doors for any type of partnership, anyone else who wants to come, see what it is they're doing. Visit William Hicks Anderson Community Center every Saturday from 1 to 3. It's an opportunity unlike any other. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And on behalf of all of us here at WITN 22, we'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching this episode of In Focus. I've been your host, Yesenia Taveras.